Is the world of 360-degree video about to change forever? Or are we just looking at a polished coat of paint on a familiar frame? For years, capturing your entire surroundings meant compromising on quality. You had to choose between the cool factor of seeing everything and the pro factor of actually having a sharp image. But the leaks surrounding the upcoming Insta360 X6 suggest those days of compromise are officially dead. We haven't seen an official press release yet, but the tech world is buzzing because of a very specific model code. CSABXA. This code recently appeared in regulatory filings, which is the tech equivalent of a smoke trail before a massive fire. When these filings show up, it means the hardware is finished, the boxes are likely being printed, and a launch is imminent. If the patterns hold true, we are looking at a spring 2026 release, most likely hitting the shelves in April. This aligns perfectly with the brand's recent habit of annual spring refreshes. But the X6 isn't just another camera. It is a calculated strike against the limitations of physics. The jump from the X4 to the X5 gave us the 8K milestone, which was a huge win for resolution. However, resolution is a hollow victory if the motion looks like a slideshow. This is where the X6 steps in to fix the soul of the footage. The biggest headline coming out of the leak cycle is the move to 8K at 60 frames per second. To the average user, that might just sound like more numbers, but for creators, it is the holy grail. Currently, 8K at 30 frames per second looks great when things are perfectly still. But the moment you start skiing down a mountain, riding a motorcycle through a canyon, or even just walking quickly through a crowded street, that 30 frames per second motion can feel jittery or blurry. Bumping that up to 60 frames per second means your high-speed action will look fluid, professional, and lifelike. More importantly, it gives you the ability to slow things down. Imagine capturing a 360-degree view of a mountain bike jump and being able to slow it into smooth slow motion while still maintaining that crisp 8K detail. When you reframe that footage into a standard flat video for Instagram or YouTube, the extra frames make the final product look significantly more cinematic and less like a digital recording. But resolution and frame rates are useless if the colors look flat or muddy. This is why the rumors of 10-bit color depth are perhaps more important than the 8K label itself. Most consumer cameras record in 8-bit, which captures about 16 million colors. That sounds like a lot, but in high-contrast scenes, like a bright sky over a dark forest, you see banding, where the colors don't blend smoothly. The X6 moving to 10-bit means it can record over a billion colors. This gives you massive data headroom in the editing room. You can pull detail out of the shadows and save highlights in the clouds without the image falling apart. For the first time, a pocket-sized 360 camera might actually produce footage that matches the color science of professional mirrorless cameras. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the sensor size. The real viral rumor here is the potential for a 1-inch sensor. This is a massive engineering challenge. Small sensors have always been the Achilles heel of 360 cameras. Because the light has to be split between two lenses, each sensor usually gets a very small amount of data to work with. This is why 360 cameras typically look terrible at night or indoors. They get grainy. The noise ruins the details, and the image looks mushy. A 1-inch sensor would be a total paradigm shift. It would allow the X6 to feast on light. If Insta360 has figured out the thermal management to put a sensor that large in a body that's small, the competition should be terrified. This would make the X6 the first true all-day, all-night 360 camera. You could film a city walk in Tokyo under the neon lights or a dimly lit wedding reception and actually get clean, usable, professional-grade footage. We also have to consider the DJI effect. In the last 2 years, DJI has moved from being a drone company to being a dominant force in handheld cameras. Their Osmo Pocket and Action series have set a new bar for computational imaging, using smart software to make small sensors look like big ones. Insta360 knows they cannot rest on their laurels. The X6 is expected to feature a brand new AI processor. This isn't just for marketing. It's a necessity. Handling the massive data stream of 8K at 60 frames per second in 10-bit color generates an incredible amount of heat. The X6 will likely debut a new cooling architecture to prevent the camera from shutting down during long recording sessions. This processor will also power the next generation of Deep Track. Imagine an AI that doesn't just follow a person, but understands their movement, predicting where they will go even if they disappear behind a tree for a second. The goal is to make the editing process, which is historically the most annoying part of 360 video, feel completely invisible. They want you to be able to shoot your entire day, tap a button on your phone, and have the AI curate the best angles, the best colors, and the best transitions instantly. Let's look at the thermal design because this is where most cameras fail. Recording 8K at 60 frames per second requires immense processing power, which usually leads to overheating in about 15 minutes. Leaks suggest the X6 might feature a new heatsink frame, potentially using magnesium alloy to pull heat away from the processor and out through the body. This means you can record your entire commute, your entire hike, or your entire concert without the dreaded camera overheating message popping up. For professional creators, reliability is worth more than any spec on a page. Furthermore, the audio department is seeing a massive overhaul. Rumors point to a 4-microphone array with voice focus 2.0. In older models, wind noise was the enemy of 360 video. If you were biking, the wind would drown out everything. The X6 is expected to use AI-driven noise reduction to isolate your voice while keeping the ambient atmosphere intact. This makes it a one-man army tool for vloggers. You don't need an external mic. The camera becomes your entire production studio. When we talk about the price, $600 seems like a lot, but we have to compare it to the alternative. To get this kind of quality 5 years ago, you needed a rig that cost $5,000 and a computer the size of a refrigerator to edit the files. Now, you can fit that power in your pocket. The X6 is targeting the prosumer, the person who isn't just playing around, but someone who wants their TikToks, Reels, and YouTube videos to look like they were shot on a Hollywood set. My honest opinion? We are reaching a peak camera era. If you are still using an older model like the X2 or even the X3, the jump to the X6 will feel like moving from a standard definition TV to a 4K OLED. The low-light performance and the fluid 60 frames per second motion are not just nice to have. They are the features that stop a viewer from scrolling past your video. In a world where everyone is a creator, quality is the only way to stand out. The Insta360 X6 isn't just trying to iterate, it's trying to dominate. It addresses every single pain point that has held 360 cameras back for a decade. Low light, motion blur, and difficult editing. If these leaks are even 80% accurate, the X6 will be the undisputed king of the category for years to come. It's a refined powerhouse of a machine that is built for the future of social media, where quality is the only way to stand out in a crowded feed. Whether you're a professional vlogger, an extreme sports athlete, or just someone who wants to document their life in the most immersive way possible, the X6 is looking like the ultimate weapon for your creative arsenal. It's time to stop worrying about where to point the camera and start focusing on the story you're telling. The X6 will handle the rest. This is the era of invisible tech, where the gear disappears and the creativity takes center stage. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your fellow tech enthusiasts, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a deep dive into the future of filmmaking. My best advice? If you're planning a big trip or a project for mid-2026, don't buy a camera today. Wait for the April launch. The X6 is about to reset the bar, and you don't want to be left behind with yesterday's tech. The competition is fierce, the stakes are high, and the footage is about to get a whole lot better. Catch you in the next one.